Hello everyone, Zach here from the Carnival of Randomness on behalf of our sponsor, Opsitnik & Associates. In these unprecedented times, we reflect on our future, both in the next few weeks and months, but also the upcoming years and decades. And it's time to prepare for that future. Opsitnik & Associates has been contacted by many healthcare workers, as well as old and new clients, to prepare wills, powers of attorney, and advance directives, also called a living will. All of you need these documents, so don't say you don't have any assets to speak of, no children or other dependents. Regardless of the circumstances now, you will need a will for today and tomorrow. Al Opsitnik feels so strongly about having wills and other needed documents prepared that Opsitnik & Associates can prepare your will, power of attorney, and living will at no charge. You heard that correct. No charge until the end of 2020. No hidden fees or gimmicks. Al feels so strongly about planning for the future at this time that he is willing to assist you with your future. Trust Opsitnik & Associates, attorneys for 42 years, from the Supreme Court to Alaska and everywhere in between. You can find them online, opsitnikslaw.com, on Facebook, Opsitnik & Associates, or call them toll-free 1-866-391-3299 to prepare for your future.
Hey everybody, it's the season on Carnival of Randomness. It's October, I think. This year, who the hell knows?
Actually, September.
Yes, but...
Close enough.
Close enough. But I'm your incidental host, and if you could see, we put a picture of this up, but I would look quick because it'll probably give people heart attacks and they'll pull it. because we have our old fiend, Kaos the Clown, here.
Hello, everybody.
And Adrian, our director.
Hello.
And how is the year for Kaos and your evil brother, Relic?
Well, Relic hasn't really been doing much. He's been kind of hiding out, getting ready to scare everybody again because, October is sneaking around the corner.
Well, actually, I think Relic is in... I think I saw him. He's the one with the green hair, right?
No.
No, it's...
No, Relic has the white and gray hair.
Oh, because there's another Relic who I think is in Clown Motel 2, the sequel with Joseph Kelly's new film.
Yeah, different Relic.
It must be it's a different Relic. My mistake.
There's lots of us around.
Yes, but there's only one real...
Only one
There's only one.
True Relic, the Clown
it's
of Nightmares.
It's like Superstar Billy Graham said, man of the hour, the man with the power, too evil to be sour.
There we go.
The Clown. But
Kaos.
We're going to talk about many things this year, and one of the things we would be talking about this time of year is the Hamlin Screamfest. And am I wrong? Is it 2 years or 3 years it's been going on? Because I think Zach and I jumped in, was it year 2?
Year 2. So it would have been 3 years. This year, though, as we all know, COVID's kind of ruined plans for Kaos this year. Hamlin Screamfest has decided we are not going to do the actual Screamfest as we have done previous years. Instead, we're going to do the Hamlin's Horrid Halloween Drive-Thru. You guys, you've been to Christmas light displays, right?
That's exactly. See, I messaged Tom, and as usual, I just said, can we help promote this? Is it going to be on? At first, Tom said, we're not going to have it, but then he must have brilliant idea. And the way you've described it is basically what I've been telling people, because I've been screwing the name up every time. I say it's like the artist that was Screamfest for 1 year, but I've said, imagine a holiday light show, but one that makes you pee your pants.
Exactly. We have community members around Hamlin, surrounding areas, that are setting up Halloween displays. You're going to drive through in your vehicle. You'll get goodie bags, gifts, treats, coupons, all kinds of fun stuff, and you get to vote on the display at the end.
You answered a question I was going to have, too, because Zach and I were talking about it and wondering... And again, for COVID purposes, because Zach's so big, we didn't want him in the studio. So there's no
take
big
up a lot of
guys
room
here. So, but we were thinking, okay, how are you going to do it? Because I don't think you'd want to drive around the grass at the Hamlin Town Hall. It might be fun, but some cars might get stuck in the mud. So it's like around the town?
No, it's actually going to be at the Hamlin Rec Center.
Oh, it is.
So you're going to come in the main parking lot. You're going to drive down the gravel road. For those who've been to Hamlin Screamfest, that's where all the vendors were set up. So you're going to drive down there. You'll see the Halloween displays on both left and right side of your vehicle. When you get to the end, you will see me, glorious Kaos the Clown, fan favorite. You can't miss me. Big throne. Thank Tom for bringing the throne out for me. We'll have goodie bags, like I said, gifts, treats, all that. We're trying to work it where you may be able to get out of the vehicle and get a photo or autograph with Kaos. That's still in the works. Don't hold me to that. But if you see me, don't forget to say hi. If we can, come out, get a hug, get a picture, get an autograph. We'll get it figured out for you.
And what day is it?
It is on Halloween, October 31st.
That's what I think Tom told me, but I want to make sure.
7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Very cool. And the thing about that, too, maybe... I mean, we'll see how COVID is, everything else in terms of safety for pictures. Otherwise, maybe you just can give them like an 8x10 or something to scare them, or who knows.
Were you thinking of giving out chocolate or candy or?
I think some of the people there are going to be going little goodie bags. Everything's going to be turned in to the Hamlin Rec Center, so it'll be all done in safe means.
Yeah, like with inspection and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do things like coloring pages, mini craft kits.
No chicken wings, though, right? They don't count as candy or food.
You can tell Zach no chicken wings, so there's no reason for him to show up.
I actually found they somehow used nachos at the bar the other night. Now, I guess they caved in on that. Which isn't a food either, I'm sure. Should have little relic and Kaos clown chocolates to give out.
There we go. That's what I got to come up with.
But I still think, probably from last year, because those of you who don't know, I judged the costume contest.
Yes.
And I think that little witch who screamed cursed us because I gave her like a 7.5, so she brought COVID on, so we couldn't have the contest yet.
See, that's the thing. And actually, Adrian was actually one of our guest judges as well. Last year?
Yeah, it was. I think it was last year or the year before.
It was Billy McKee. It was you.
It was you and Zach.
Yeah, because I was drafted. It's like you're going to be a judge, or I'm going to hit you over there with a hammer.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
And I was Michael Myers too, and I did scare some kids, and they were crying.
The kids. That's a question I'll ask you, Adrian. In terms of, we all grew up with this stuff. Do the little kids, do you just look like a goofy guy in a mask, like a William Shatner mask, or do they know, they have an idea it's Halloween? And yes, the movies have been coming out a long time.
Well, when I was dressed up as Michael Myers, the kids who were very young and so forth, they were scared to go near me or walk up to me. They were crying, and some of them. And so I think something about it, they were scared. Even when I was dressed up as a clown one day on the set of... Clowns in the Woods, the neighbors that were next to us, they were scared and, hiding from the little girls and so forth. I don't know, it's something about clowns that does scare kids.
Okay, now that's true, but as we were talking before we started, Kaos, as evil as you want to be, you become good old grumpy Santa Claus to these kids, I guess. We adults know to fear you because we don't want to get our throats slashed with a machete, but the little kiddies, they love you, don't they?
Yeah, and that's kind of funny because my brother Relic is unbelievably, he's a bloody mass murderer. He's not one you want to run into a dark alley. And the kids seem to run up to him and want hugs. And for me, I'm more the carnival clown, a little bit more fun-loving. Those who have seen me, I MC Screamfest every year. The kids love that character. But I can walk toward an adult, like Adrian or Rob or Zach, and they'll turn around and run the other direction. It's like this irrational fear of clowns that's been instilled in people over 18.
Well, not me. I mean, my mom, when I was young, for my birthday, she would always get a magician. And one year, there was some confusion when I was in third grade, and she got the guy who would always come as a magician to my birthdays. He came as a clown. And I was excited because I was tired of seeing a magician all the time. And he made a mistake. He was supposed to be a magician, but he came as a clown. And I like that because I grew up watching, I'm that old. I grew up watching, it was on VHS from the video store, Bozo the Clown,
Yes.
And,
he was on PIX, like we would get home from school and the Bozo the Clown show would be on.
Yep.
And the cartoons and stuff.
But one of my friends, now he has a reason for the fear, my dear friend Tony, when he was a kid, doesn't get that gross, but it is kind of, his dad took him to the circus. He's like 4 years old, but he had to pee, and his dad let him go alone. So he went to the men's room, and he was in the urinal. He looks, and one of the circus clowns is staring at him. So he can't, and all you had to do with Tony was mention the film Vulgar.
Oh, and that's the end of it.
You have to take a shower for a week.
I've never seen that movie.
Just don't.
What is it, the plot in a nutshell?
Okay, a plot. There's a guy, he's a children's TV host just as a clown. He basically gets butt raped and then blackmailed. Is that about it?
Yeah, that's the gist of that story.
Sounds like a depressing movie.
It's gross.
It's very disgusting.
Yeah.
But what do you think where do you think this primal fear of clowns comes from, though? Is it because, like, going to the circus and they just... And I've known... Like,
I don't... Well, in my opinion, sorry for interrupting.
Don't worry about it.
But I think my opinion is it's something to do with the face paint, that it's not normal for kids. I mean, for some kids, I should say. And because even when I was one Halloween, a year or some years ago, and I was dressed up giving out candy to the kids as Gene Simmons, one of the kids was scared he was crying and was scared to come to the house, even though I was dressed up in the Gene Simmons face paint with the Kiss t-shirt.
The dad probably loved it. He's probably putting his hands
on
horns in the air.
Yeah, but the kid, he was very young. I don't know. It has something, because it's odd. It's not normal. It's something creepy about it.
I do. I said every year at Screamfest I would take pictures of those clowns on the gate.
Yes.
And I would send them to my friend Alicia, and I would get swearing texts back. Rob!
Well, the other thing that kind of put clowns into more of a horror category, and taking Pennywise out of this completely, the clown sightings that were down in the South, of the clowns hiding in the woods that were freaking people out and scaring people, and the ones that were actually causing issues. John Wayne Gacy, another one.
And then there's also those Wrinkles the clown in Florida, who parents would pay to scare their kids if they misbehaved.
And I think there's a dichotomy. I grew up watching, I love old horror, and the old Lon Chaney movies. And they would do movies like with the clown. There was a dichotomy about this is the happy guy, but there's a pathos to it. And there's something, when he starts cackling when the guy's going to get his arms torn apart by an elephant, by the horses, there's a dichotomy about it. It's just weird seeing like people like growing up dressing up like this and everything else.
Well, a lot of it, I mean, Adrian knows he's seen it. I have Kaos came out with a new outfit that he wore for the Clowns in the Wood movie.
Yeah.
I kind of went more of the old-timey circus clown kind of look.
Don't you like clowns? Aren't we funny?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like the year from
the hashtag clown love.
Yeah.
You got it. It's all we want. We just want a hug. Now, whether we rip your head off after that is completely separate.
That's a question I'm going to ask, too, because I know tons of musicians, as you know, and I know filmmakers.
Yes.
In terms of even trying, in the age of COVID, how has it been trying to make a movie?
Adrian?
Well, I would say for this movie, it was my first time as a director. I did work on a film before called Bury My Heart with Tonawanda, but I only wrote the script, produced, and acted in it, and I was on set and so forth. But I didn't direct that movie. That was Gary Sundown, who's Seneca Native American from the Tonawanda Reservation. But this was my first chance actually directing with my friend Kurt Markham, who's also a filmmaker. I wanted to give him a chance to have a third IMDb credit. And a lot of days were stressful. There was one day that I was at that I had a fun time with, and that was when one of the actor playing the main character, his name is Dalton Letta. He actually has autism in real life, and he brought his French bulldog onto the set, and because it was needed for the scene, where he gets set up to kiss a dog, and he runs out and gets after a prank and gets hit by a dog.
Rather kiss a dog than do what Divine did at the end of Pink Flamingos.
Oh
with the dog.
yeah, that was wow. Yeah, I have a guilty pleasure for those type of movies.
I mean, the biggest, just to go, as we go on tangents here, John Waters did his Christmas show here about 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I was there.
And the thing about him, my friend Jen Marks, she owned Pink Flamingo's salon. So she met him, and this is like the best, weirdest thing I've ever heard about somebody. I talked to him, and I said, thank you for getting me through Catholic schools. I talked about rats in Maryland, because I lived there for a while. But anyways, so I asked Jen, how was he? How was he when you met him? And she just said, Rob, I was really disappointed. And I'm like, why? And he said, it's John Waters. I expected him to be mean or sarcastic or something. He was such a nice guy.
Yeah, he is a really nice guy. But going back to clowns, I mean, yes. I think the reason that it was stressful was because you don't know what to expect on a very, very low budget movie, like like people, pedestrians coming in,
broken for us. There's a movie I do with my friend Beth Bailey. We had to do a fundraiser because somebody knocked over a camera and we didn't have the money to replace it.
Yeah.
So we had to do, because you remember, like if you're doing a multi-million-dollar market, just call up and get 5 more. It might cost even $80.
That, like Adrian was saying, there was a scene that we were filming on Monroe Avenue. It's an all local movie. It was all filmed around Rochester and surrounding areas. And we had to stop production several times for pedestrians going, "Hey, what are you doing?" Well, there's a clown standing in the middle of the sidewalk,
Yeah.
It's Monroe Avenue, though, dude. I saw one guy walking there with leather pants and a raccoon tail coming
right. But I mean, we had to keep stopping. And, I'm looking at, Adrian and her film crew going, Kaos is standing here in the middle of Monroe Avenue. People were stopping vehicles in the road. We had that one that came in the parking lot. COVID kind of had some issues because we couldn't shut things down the way we wanted to.
Well, actually, there was a guy, a safety officer, Jason, who was a very, very big help. He had on a yellow and orange vest, and
good guy.
He was directing traffic and stuff, telling people to stop and all that. But another issue was weather, because it's the summertime.
It's Rochester, too.
Yeah, you don't know when it's going to rain. That was a big thing, like, sweating buckets,
plus, in terms of being a clown, you got to be probably dropping 10 pounds on some of those things.
I lost a lot of weight. Went down to 271.
Whatever weight I lost, I found during COVID. So
I get you.
But I know, like we had the case of the dessert. One scene from Getting Personal. It's a movie about 4 people going on their first dates. We were filming at a catering place in Mendon. I was like cameo with my friend Melissa.
Right.
It's 2 people going on a date, but you don't film even one scene. You have to mark it.
Yes.
It took about 3 hours. We had like a lemon meringue thing. If you watch closely, it tilted during like that.
Just from the heat, probably.
Yeah, the heat and everything. But it's amazing too. Plus, you don't know how people are going to react unless you're doing like a Sacha Baron Cohen, where like you want a guy in a clown suit going to just see how people react.
Right.
You're trying to film a scene, and people who are going by.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was the first movie I've ever been in, and I did the film with Adrian. I met Adrian years ago back at Hamlin Screamfest, and just wanted to help him out with his film. And for me, it was a great experience. I mean,
did you have like this is a good word to use, a skeleton crew in terms of COVID? Because
Yeah,
like my friend
did.
Alyssa Trey,
Yeah.
my friend Alyssa Trey, and she basically has done a couple home videos just with her and her boyfriend.
Well, no, we had the Coleman brothers doing the video. Then of course we had sound techs and effects and makeup artists. But I mean, the actors, if we weren't on scene or in the scene, we actually would stay away. We'd make sure we social distance from the crew and the other actors. So we all worked extremely well together. I mean, it was a fun event,
Are you one of those actors, like a method actor, when you read, you ad lib and Adrian, as a director, how much leeway do you give your actors? You want them, or like if they can do it better, or do you want them to do exactly how you lay it out?
Well, I'm not. I try to be flexible. I mean, even with the cinematographers, because my expertise is in cinematography or these high-tech cameras, My expertise is editing and stuff. So I let the director of photography, I treated them like they know what they're doing. And, I think in terms of the actors, I let them, improv somewhat,
Well, I mean, if I'm doing a film and I have like a scary clown, the clown can pretty much do whatever the hell he wants.
We followed script. I mean, there is some leeway in, physical actions or motions.
You know what I found too, like doing projects, sometimes you write something, but when you're going to do it, all of a sudden it just hits everybody there. We can do it better and do it in a different way. That happens sometimes.
There were some scenes that were filmed. I know one of the scenes that were done behind Adrian's house out in the woods. Me and one of the Coleman brothers were actually talking about how to film the scene, and we found a really nice wooded area way off the trail. And you'll see when you see the movie, you'll know the scene. It's the camera footage is just remarkable, and the Coleman brothers kind of took their own way and went, let's try it this way instead of doing, point camera at this one, point camera at this one. It's a motion camera, so it works really good for the scene.
In a nutshell, are there any funny stories? And I want to give an example. I went to a Doctor Who convention years ago, and Colin Baker was there, and he told the story of the two doctors, where there's a scene where he hit Perry in the face with a bowl of water, and what he did was he pranked her by telling the director to say, cut, it's not done right. So they filmed the scene the first time, but he dosed her like 20 times. So when the scene came up and they showed it, it's supposed to be really serious, the whole place burst out laughing because they knew the backstory. Right. And there's always something breaking down, or did you get attacked by like a rabid squirrel out there or anything?
No, bees and mosquitoes.
Yeah,
I got a mosquito last
well,
night.
I got really bad poison ivy and on my legs, but it's better now. But yeah, it was. I would say one funny story that I can think of off the top of my head that made everyone laugh on set is the character Mr. Belson, who his character's supposed to be conservative with the "Make America Great Again" hat. And one of the lines he improvised after he's set on fire by my character, Roscoe. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Yep. Roscoe.
2020 fart.
Yeah. So anyways, when my character Roscoe sets him on fire and I say my line and he runs to the door and falls down in Amy's apartment who's living next door, who's one of the main characters. He improvised a scene where he said, "Damn you, Obama," and it's in the
You know what that
film.
reminds me of? Have you seen The Dead Don't Die? The Jim Jarmusch movie? Steve Buscemi plays a character like that. It's just when you watch it, think of it. But walking around with one of those hats on Monroe Avenue, that's like taking your life into...
Yeah,
it made everyone laugh, and it made things a lot. It lightened the mood, if you would say, because it was the way he said it and the way it was done, it was funny.
Sometimes spur of the moment things are the
Right.
best.
Yeah,
but
that's
we haven't
true.
even said, in a nutshell, like you asked me, what's the movie about? Either one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So
your movie.
Yeah. So basically, what Clowns in the Woods is about, there's this guy he's 21 years old, who has a developmental disability, autism, and as the actor does in real life, and he's constantly bullied in the community by these group of college kids, and he likes this girl who's already dating this boyfriend Brad, and one day they pull a prank on him that goes wrong, and he gets hit by a car after he kisses the girl's dog. It's set up. They set it up. He thought he was going to kiss her, and then he kisses the dog instead. But anyway, so he comes back as a ghost. He goes to the woods, and the clowns are there, and they help him enact revenge on those who have wronged him. So I won't give too much away, but that's basically the plot in a nutshell.
Have you seen the movie The Peanut Butter Falcon?
Yeah.
I was going to say, the star, did he have Down syndrome or autism?
It was Down syndrome,
but it's fantastic how he does. How he did a great job, and then you realize he really did have Down syndrome.
Yeah, we mentioned that movie in our film where they want to go to a movie theater to see the Peanut Butter Falcon, and then grisly murders happen in the movie theater.
And also, we have a story to tell. We've met Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
And there was one famous story. You were smoking a cigarette with him, and I think you asked him where his snake was. Yeah. And he replied, "It's in my pants."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting moment out there at the...
Oh, funny.
Rochester Convention
Many
Center.
things, yes.
There's funny story about Jake the Snake Roberts. I actually said hello to him, and, his security was trying to wave me away, and this was at the Elmira Comic-Con convention. This was back in 2016 when I was filming stuff for my documentary, Greetings from Tromaville, about Lloyd Kaufman and Troma. And I asked him, do you think it's possible for people with Down syndrome and autism to be pro wrestlers? And his response was anything's possible. So this was way before the Peanut Butter Falcon. And then I was like, holy crap, he's in the Peanut Butter Falcon, about a guy with Down syndrome who wants to be a pro wrestler, and he's fighting him.
He stabs him in the back, but he gets his butt kicked in the end. But that's the thing, too. One of my greatest highlights, Zach and I met the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, at a card show. And he said if we were back in Tennessee, in Memphis, he would have managed us as a tag team. So I got that going for me.
Hey, there you go. Potential wrestler.
But that's the thing, too, I think, in doing films, and I've dabbled in that, doing that. I think what you also do is you get to try to make things you want to see.
Yeah.
And you fill a void where, more and more there's crap out. I used to say we had Julia Figueres on here, and I said, remember in the day, maybe you're not old enough, there used to be 3 to 5 movie channels. And I would maybe get Japanese horror films with the bunny ears from Toronto, right?
Right.
But it's like saying, like, now there's so much out there, but we could say, okay, I want to see this. Nobody's made this. Well, why don't I try? Maybe I don't have the money, but I can make a facsimile. We don't need all the, green screen and...
Yeah.
Well, the good thing with, Adrian and Kurt's film is Adrian's film company itself, and if I get this wrong, Adrian, correct me, but he likes to put people with disabilities in films to prove, that we can all do the same thing.
Exactly, and
it was good working with people with autism. I know Adrian has autism.
Yeah.
And working with him and Dalton Letta, Nolan Tears. These guys were all a great bunch of people to work with.
Yeah.
And I do have disabilities that, you don't notice them as Kaos, but I do. But we all worked together so well, and it was just like we all knew each other for 20, 30, 40 years. We've been on all these films together, and this is the first time I've met
probably
most
one
of
of
the
the things
guys.
I've always tried to think in my life. The one thing I've always say in terms of, like, when I've had businesses and trying to hire people, and my uncle, I learned this from my uncle when he owned Clover Pool, giving people a chance.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
and
that's the thing. And now there's a story that always moved me when my uncle passed away. There were a lot of Hispanic gentlemen at his funeral, and they're crying. And I'm asking them, what was it? And they said, this was the 1960s. Nobody would hire us, and your uncle took a chance on us.
Yeah.
And always you take that underdog and give them a chance and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Right. And we think that Clowns in the Woods is actually going to end up being a cult classic film.
I hope so. I hope it does.
It's that true, anti-bullying message.
Yes. And I always like in
up
the
for
end,
yourself,
it's like 2020. I hope the end of the story is the good guys somehow win.
Yeah.
It's like a moment where the forces of evil are out there and we're screwed. But then at the end, somehow something good happens.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I'm going to ask you two horror buffs. Every year brings different horror themes. What do you think is going to come out of 2020 for horror movies?
Plague Doctor.
Who?
A Plague Doctor.
Oh, a Plague Doctor.
I hate to say this as a clown, but that stupid Plague Doctor mask from, the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s.
Yeah.
The bird mask thing with the feathers and the staff.
Because we're going to get a slew of, movies about...
The plague, yeah.
Because what did I watch last night? I saw my friend Adriana's concert. I get home... Star Trek's on MeTV. Miri's on. It's about a story. They go on a planet. There's a plague that as soon as you turn to an adult, you turn into these crazy... Your body accelerates. You turn into these crazy, simpering, maniacal kids
It's like
that dies.
Stephen King's movie...
Stand.
Cell.
Cell.
The Cell,
too.
Cell phones. Cell phones making everybody crazy.
Yeah, did they ever make... I heard they were going to make a series out of that, but I don't... He does so much stuff, I've never seen it.
I haven't heard of the series. I actually read that book and then watched the movie.
Yeah, I've seen the...
I did want to say about... Speaking of plague movies, I know there were a couple of plague movies, like The Omega Man, which is about a disease that's man-made, and it's ironic because even though that movie came out in 1971, it's with Charlton Heston and all that, it's about, a plague that comes because of a conflict between Russia and China, and then it's germ warfare wiping out the whole race, human race, I should say, and he's like the last human on Earth, except for mutant people who are like cultists wearing
religious nuts, almost
black robes and white pale skin and albino type people, and then you have I Am Legend. And I know for a while zombie movies were not popular until 2004, and then this whole boom of zombie movies. So I kind of see plague movies coming back. Yeah. I predict in a way like the Omega Man, I Am Legend, Last Man on Earth type thing.
But that's actually, they're all based on Richard Matheson's book, I Am Legend, his novella. And the thing is, the Vincent Price one's the closest, because what happens in the book is it's a disease, it's a windborne disease from bats, and he got bit by one of the bats years ago. So, a plague from bats.
Yeah,
and then they changed it to nuclear warfare.
Right.
And obviously, you had Will Smith with the dog, that version. I think the Vincent Price one's his closest. But the irony then, he turns out to be the monster in this new world when it mutates.
Yeah, but see, as a clown, I can't wrap my head around zombies. The haunts that I've worked at in 14 years of being a haunt performer.
Yeah, there was that.
I can't do zombies.
Yeah, there was. When I was at the
I can't.
When I was at the Hamlin Screamfest, there was. I actually played it where you get to shoot zombies with paintball guns.
Yeah.
Well,
I should have went and done that, but I was.
Problems with zombies, I have number one, they have no personality. Unless you count the drool coming down their mouth or something, there's no personality.
But see, even clowns have been overplayed in the haunt industry. I would say probably, last 10, 12 years. Everybody did the big carnival, circus, murderers, clowns, jesters in boxes, that kind of thing.
And the thing, too, about the zombies, again, too, is the rotting flesh. I could just hit them with a ball bat.
Right.
And they're not going to be able to, they made them in, the remakes of Dawn of the Dead where they're fast.
Or Walking Dead.
Yeah, a Walking Dead, they've done that. But otherwise, like a mummy, like with the Mummy movie, the recent ones, this thing's super powered. Otherwise, it's a bag of bones falling apart wrapped in toilet paper.
Right.
We're not really afraid of this.
Bandages, but...
Toilet paper to me, we don't know.
That's the thing with clowns is people look at them and they know behind the makeup there's another person. But you don't know what that person is. If you take John Wayne Gacy as an example, he did children's parties.
He was pictures with President Carter.
He did all this great stuff with children and stuff, but then turned into a serial killer. So when people look at Kaos or My Brother Relic or any of the clowns throughout the history of working in haunted attractions and haunted events, you don't know. Most of us all have backstories of where we came from. It was usually death, destruction, abuse, whatever. And that's what it turned most of us into, this evil, murderous type clown.
Yeah, and
the origin stories are always something horrible. Plus, I think there's also the magic show or pro wrestling where there's a suspension of disbelief,
right?
Where you buy into the characters, but also you hear it's like Freddy Krueger's background, not so cool,
right?
Or anybody's background. How did you always ask? How did this person come to be like this?
Right, and that's one of the big things. Like Kaos, when you look at him, he is the epitome of a circus clown. He, in Clowns in the Woods, his costume is bright and colorful. He's carries a sledgehammer that matches costume. Everything's character related.
Yeah.
But the backstory, which I'm not going to give away because that's the best part of the movie, the backstory builds on myself, Adrian as Roscoe, Arlo Price
as Jingles,
and then Luther. I don't remember Luther's last name.
He's changing it to Luther LeBron, but legally, but he goes by Jester.
And the four of us have this amazing backstory that was created.
We always
from
want to keep some from the audience.
Yes.
Want more.
Yeah, there is a backstory in the movie why they are why they're ghosts and haunting this woods in this small town.
I'll say one thing I'm going through, I may have something to do on Halloween or around there, probably not, but I've been going through with my friend Alicia about costume ideas, and a lot of the things I'm saying from my friends, old horror still stands out. Yes. And she's been saying you want to do a top hat, a Phantom, or a Jekyll and Hyde type thing.
The problem with costuming, and speaking as Kaos with the experience I have, you have to come up with a backstory before you come up with a character. The backstory helps you sell that outfit, that character, that costume, the mask, the makeup, the wigs, accessories. Backstories are what does it for that. And if you go to most haunted attractions throughout anywhere in the country or the world for that much, if you find a character that is popular and ask them their backstory, immediately there's a story. We don't think, the backstories for, Kaos and Relic the Clown of Nightmares through Relic Nightmares industry, it's this elaborate story.
It's the same thing like with the podcast where we keep the backstory because it's very grisly and
right.
very... But if this is a question I was going to ask both of you, and it actually ties into just what you said, how to set this up. Did either of you growing up and now ever find a favorite haunted house you went to, in an amusement park or anything?
I actually cannot stand haunted houses.
Me neither. I mean, I used to go to them at Virginia Beach, and I don't know what...
Nightmare Manor, or Nightmare crap.
I went
there.
I went to one, actually, House Away, the Madame Tussauds in London, and they had the scary part.
Yeah, they got one up in Niagara Falls,
The reason
too.
I tell that story is just because there was one at Seabreeze, and the haunted house, but like they usually do, it's not that good, but it was made great by the person who worked there, because what they would do is, your little kids, he would just go and like casually talk to his friend. Oh, remember that guy that serial killer who escaped from the asylum? We've heard reports he's in there. And when you're a little kid, you're looking up.
Yeah, but that helps because that builds the fear. Because when you're a child, you don't have a rational fear of, okay, that dude's got a knife, run.
Yeah.
And that's why another thing, kids come up to Kaos and Relic all the time. They don't have that fear. But adults, you got news, you've got media, you've got movies, and a lot of them are like, no.
Real life events,
Yeah.
And I also think maybe that's it, too, why clowns are so popular, we'll use the word. Because say you're sort of an adult, you see a vampire, you see some... In your back of your mind, you're going, it looks cool, but it's not real. Where you think, maybe this guy has some problems.
Right, because it's basically just makeup. So you don't know that person underneath that makeup. And that's, like you said, the clown could be happy and, making balloon animals, but the real person under that makeup... Yeah, is a dark, evil, sadistic person.
Yeah.
You don't know. But you do, like you said, vampires and stuff, in your mind a vampire doesn't exist. A mummy, stuff like that. Mummies are in tune, but it's not going to come alive and it's going to attack you.
Well, clowns exist.
Yeah, because you've got circuses, like Adrian's birthday parties. You've got all this where clowns actually exist. You've seen them in real life.
We see them every day on the news.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And they add something real scary. I mean, Arlo Price's makeup, clown makeup, resembled that of John Wayne Gacy in the movie. So, but
it's all that subliminal.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I've noticed, like more and more looking into movies. If you really pay attention, there's lots of subliminal stuff put in there.
Yes, yeah, there is. And it's done for a reason.
And it's done because when you do the voiceover on the DVD, you can explain it too.
Right.
Like this is the gingerbread house cookies on the floor here and everything else.
Right.
But would you ever, both of you, ever jump out of the genre? Like, would Kaos or Relic ever want to do King Lear?
No.
Nah. I am thinking of doing a movie that's more of a drama called Journey in Brookside, which I wrote the script for, but that needs a lot of work about. It would be very emotional, take place in a mental hospital.
Perfect.
Sorry. But or a hospital for people with disabilities or whatever, violent. But going back to the clown stuff, I always wished that there in Virginia Beach there was a haunted house called Clown House, where it would be just clowns scaring people in this funhouse type place.
Did you ever see that clown hotel they have in Vegas? Yes. They have like a big clown hotel.
I know about it from the movie.
But I also think now we can get our product out there because my friend Greg Smith, he just had a film at Fringe Fest, Movie 314. And if you watch this, I think it's very good, but this is something not commercial at all.
Okay.
And it's challenging, so I wouldn't see a distributor, but you get it out there, and there's so many ways you can release stuff out there now.
Well, yeah, with social media now, Kaos the Clown has a page. Relic the Clown of Nightmares has a page. Our business, Relic Nightmares, has a Facebook page. And that's how I keep up with my fans. Relic the Clown of Nightmares, was actually the end of last season, was in ScurryFaceRadio.com. They had a Scare Actor Spectacular contest. And it was international, actors from around the world that people were voting on. Unfortunately, we made it to second round, didn't make it to third, but it was just all social media. And to see other actors from, attractions that, whether they're in Carolina or Texas, Florida, California, overseas, just to see how we all perform, because it was a popularity contest, basically. But just to see some of the ones that grew from working at a very small haunt to now they're one of the largest haunts in the country. It's amazing. The haunt industry has grown so much just due to social media.
The last thing I'll say on films, too, is like, for example, what I like, too, about all these movies we do is there's something that's different. Because, okay, if you gave me $200 million, I'm bored to death of superhero movies because I can tell you the plot. I've been around comic books. I can predict the plot before they're over. You
Right.
know it's going to be like a Star Wars movie. I think it's going to be a huge hit no matter what you do. Why don't you try something a little different?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same formulaic superhero movies where I'll go ... And I'm sure they have to market it across the world. It's got to be
Yeah.
generic. But to me, they're boring. And it's like, I would never imagine years ago being a big comic book fan, wow, we have all this stuff around here.
Look at
I
the
don't really-
Avengers.
I don't really care.
The Avengers now, I mean, the movies come out, people are like, yeah, I'm tired of it.
I'm very tired. I got
Yeah.
very tired because I started predicting every movie. I just started going, okay, there's the big beginning where they have the fight, then it gets boring, and then it's
then
like,
it picks
okay,
up a little bit in the end.
pathos, and they do this,
Well,
and they do that.
there was a big budget, scary clown movie, which is pretty gross, but I like it. I've grown to like it, and I'm friends with the guy who plays the clown on Facebook, Terrifier. He plays Art the Clown, and
That's a good movie, though.
yeah, it's a good movie. I like it, but there's some people where it's hit or miss for them, and I don't know if it's become a cult classic, but
See, my view on life, that's, I think, social media, we're in bubbles. You know, we all
Yeah.
know on Facebook. We have people you hate. But the thing is, I think people have to realize in life, you're going to run into people that views are 180% different from yours. Their likes,
But
there's nothing wrong with it at
all
all.
have-
We're
we
all
all have
different.
opinions.
And I think we're like in high school on social media where we have all our buddies cheering us on, and whoever's bad, whoever's good. I mean, I've had people, like I got called names one time because I put a list of 10 bands I hate. And it just is a joke. You know, my posts are jokes.
Yeah.
And somebody said, you know, Journey's the soundtrack to my high school. And I had to be snide and say, well, your high school must have sucked.
Right.
But it's just a list. You might, you know, whatever I like, you might not like. I'm not making you go to a show or see a thing, but I like things that are different.
That's one of the things, too, about growing up with social media now. I mean, when we all grew up, we didn't have social media. None of this stuff even existed. And now it's basically like Facebook, like you said, has been clicks. You've got these people here.
The bubble,
and
the
this
echo
people-
chambers.
Yeah, and that's why, as Kaos or Relic or anything else, I'm in my own world.
Yeah.
I don't even have to like the idea of a president. I don't have to like the idea of anything.
And you get to the point,
I'm
like
in my
with me,
own-
it's like I'm used to being a loser. And I don't really
Right.
care. And I have my friends who know me, and they get me or they don't. But
Well,
you
I'm
get
in
to the
my-
point in your life where I don't give a damn what people think of me either.
Right. And I'm at that point now. I mean, I've had people come up to me and, say, even in character, oh, that's stupid. Why do you do this crap? You're an adult. Why do you do this?
I hate it when people do that. Even
It makes no sense.
I know.
Are you doing what you like doing it?
Yeah.
It's something I always say you got to find your own path in life. And you like doing it's like, do you like what you're doing? Do I criticize?
I enjoy Halloween. It's year round to me.
This
being-
fucking year, yes.
Being
Well-
being Chaos is my outlet into that world. Being my brother Relic is my outlet into the horror side of that, where I can terrify a grown man and make them cry. That's my outlet. And that's what I do and what I enjoy
So I've
doing.
been saying there must be a joy, especially you get somebody tough guys with their girls, I know you the clowns, and they end up peeing themselves.
Yeah, I actually, Relic, when he was down at Kim's Crypt, which is an amazing haunted attraction down in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, she was doing a horror campout. So it was a 13-hour interactive hands-on horror. We could grab you. We could do all kinds of stuff.
And they sign the waiver. Of
Yeah,
course,
you do. You
obviously.
do sign a waiver.
Because otherwise, the Sioux world.
Oh, yeah. But there was a guy that came through, had to have been 400 pounds, and it was all night, you're never going to scare me, you're never going to scare me, you're never going to scare me. And we ended up, me and another actor ended up terrifying him to the point where he actually did pee and crap himself.
Oh,
There's a story, yeah.
And that's, that right there, that's excitement to us. When we work in that industry.
There's this story, there's two stories I'll give you. One is pro wrestler Bullet Bob Armstrong passed about a month ago. He was a man, what you call the old school man's band, a former Marine, tough guy. But what they said, he couldn't stand snakes. So I guess he's in the toilet one time and they could hear him straining. Somebody got like a little rubber hose and threw it over, and they heard him screaming and fighting in his own poop and everything.
See, that's the things that haunted attractions love. I don't want to see, Adrian come through a haunt and go, wow, that set looks really nice. I like the lighting. we don't want that. We want Adrian to come around the corner and somebody jump out and scare the crap out of him, and he screams like a little girl. That's what we want.
That's what I would do when I was a kid. I would put on haunted houses in my basement.
Yeah.
And I had like an old Jaws thing, and I filled it with baby powder, and I tip it over on your head, and they get that reaction. But the other thing, I will use the analogy, I'm very big in the drag queen community in Rochester. And if you ever meet any drag queens outside of their character, they're the most shy people.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know
because that
but
character
they just, when
be
that
their
character,
outlet.
that flamboyant, it's like you can be a different person.
Yeah.
And it really, I think it's therapy in a way too, because you can be that way. You wouldn't be on the street if you were your normal self.
Right.
You'd be shy. It's like these shows. Unless you know me, I'm quite standoffish, you know. So
Did you, speaking of drag queens, there was a drag queen who came to Rochester twice. Forget her name. She talked about honoring John Waters. I mean Divine. She honored Divine, and then she came back, and
I know Pandora, and Pandora's gone now. Pandora Box. She's in California.
No, she's originally from Florida. I can't.
No, her I don't know. I mean, I know the local ones more.
I'm killing myself. Why did I took a picture with her, and but anyways, I'm afraid to go into haunted houses, or because not so much to be scared, but that I'll accidentally hit someone while one of the fright.
I had ones like Madame Tussauds. They would run up and they would say they're not going to touch you. But what's your immediate reaction if somebody's going to punch you? You know it's an act, but you're going to swing.
Well, that's one thing. I mean, I've been punched in the face. I have been kicked in the groin. Yeah,
that would be my first thing with the clown.
And that's why I'm afraid to do those, because I don't want to hurt anyone by accident.
Do you have clown cups?
No, they don't work. Balloons pop. The best thing, you can tell if it's an actual reaction to being terrified, or if it's some guy just being an a-hole. It's, you can.
That's why you have the clown taser gun for the latter.
That's why Relic carries a very large machete, and Kaos has a sledgehammer. We will keep you at bay.
Yes, that's the other thing now, into the year of COVID, we have to talk about how is the haunts and stuff going.
Well, unfortunately, because of Cuomo, he made the announcement of haunted attractions opening.
Is he going to be the scariest Halloween costume this year,
probably.
Baby?
He made the announcement 3 weeks ago, haunted house is going to open. Unfortunately, most in Rochester, Buffalo area, a lot of them have closed. Relic will be returning to Demon Acres Haunted Hayride, which is out in Hannibal, 341 County Road 36 in Hannibal. It's the owner's amazing. They have multiple. They have a hayride. They have a haunted house, and they have another event. We have a couple escape rooms this year. But going back to COVID with this, there's social distancing, mask wearing by everybody. Temperatures will be taken. Groups will be socially distanced. If you go with a group of friends, you can go on the ride together. If you're 2 or 3 people, we're going to have to figure it out. But the owner has done everything to comply with New York State guidelines.
For today, right?
Yeah, until Cuomo
we were making
changes it.
fun of this a while back on here going, when you go to a restaurant, remember, it'll get you. But if you sit down, you're under 5 feet, it won't get you. So why don't you blow bubbles? It'll get on the bubbles.
Right.
But now if you don't eat something, COVID's around the corner. Watch you get a drink. Now if you order, wait a second.
If you order food,
did
it goes
he order
away.
chicken wings? I can nail him. Oh, he ordered a burrito. He can't nail him. The hot sauce will get him.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I know a lot of haunt owners at various haunts that I worked at around Rochester, Buffalo areas. A lot of them decided this year not to open because of that.
And the human cost, too, because I'm looking at, like my friend Danny Nielsen said from Photo City, they were saying like 70-80% of music clubs might tank.
Right.
And people don't get the people make a living. But the other thing, I heard about the hayride, one of them where it's like, get on with the mask.
A lot of them are doing that. I know there are several bigger ones that have canceled this season. The big thing is, if you go, we want you to come out. We want you to go to the haunted attractions. We want you to support the owners that own those events. We want you to support the actors that work there. We treat it, it's a job for us. We go every day like you do for your Monday through Friday job. Come out, wear a mask. If you're sick, don't show up.
Just
stay home.
That's the thing that always worries me, and I'll say this is because I worked in the bar industry for a long time. There would always be, all of you probably know unless you've never gone out, there's always that one person who doesn't give a shit. And I remember there was one concert, it was at a bar. There's about 100 people there. Some idiot came out with the flu. I think like 60 people got it. And it's like, stay home, dude. It's like,
and that's a problem, and it's a problem.
And we have a thing here. If anybody's sick on this show, I press this button, you fly down and shoot.
Straight down and shoot, and you go to a pit filled with clowns.
I mean, I have like crappy allergies, and I'm like making sure everything. We don't stick a thermometer up your butt when you come in here, but
Well, actually, I that's just like in the cartoons. The shoot, like in this, with Mr. Burns, he pushes the button and
you go down the chute.
Yeah, but it's like, there's a dude, so I go shopping. Okay, like when you go shopping, you make the list, you forget the list.
Right.
You go shopping, you get what you're gonna get. You forget everything, come back. So I'm trying to get out of there as fast as possible. There's some old dude there. He's got the mask up, right? He goes, takes it down, honks a big one all over the.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he spits.
He honked. No, he did more than spit. Like, all.
But see, now, though, that can be considered an act of assault because of COVID.
Have you seen anything, either of you? The only thing I saw is there were two women. They got really upset. They were like spitting at a manager. I actually forgot my wallet, so I had to go drive home. 2 police cars were there. I think, I don't need the rice cakes. I'm just gonna stay home.
Right.
That's pretty much. I've seen a couple rude things, but I've never seen. I've heard stories.
I've seen people coughing on produce and stuff in stores. So I don't. Kaos doesn't eat produce anyways because it's crap. It's all suckers. It's all suckers, cotton candies, and 3-year-olds.
I have a bunch of cotton candy at my house if you want it.
Hey, see, there you go.
I got some bacon flavored from the dollar store.
Bacon flavored?
It's at the dollar store.
Nice, bacon flavored cotton candy.
If
y'all don't see Kaos out at Hamlin
I have to ask. I have some
done.
Halloween people, some scary people here. Opinion on candy corn?
Crap.
Unless
you're insane.
Unless it's candy corn filled Oreos.
I have not tried those yet.
Well, I would eat those.
I've seen them. The other one I would say, if you must, get Brock's because they make it with real honey. It's still candle wax, basically.
Yeah.
But who would win, fruitcake versus candy corn?
Oh, candy corn cake, fruitcake's butt. Easily.
Yeah, candy corn.
But what if you had to eat? What if they took it? You didn't have to eat one. You'd have to eat a whole bag compared to a fruitcake.
I would do that because I'm not eating a brick.
What about a brick with candy corn in it? Might that be the ultimate?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. Is the brick inside a soul of a child?
See, that makes it all better.
Because that makes it better. I could do that.
The W.C. Fields line, do you like children? Only if they're well cooked.
Exactly.
You know what would be the most disturbing cake would be a cake, and I've seen cakes shaped like body parts and stuff like that, but a cake that's shaped like a baby.
I've seen them. You want a scary one? There's some funeral home. They celebrate by making a cake of the deceased.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, that was me posting.
That was probably it. Yeah.
But the other one was, could you imagine having a candy corn killer where he makes people die by overeating somebody from Saw, but he makes them OD on candy corn or bad food.
That would definitely kill somebody, though.
Now we're going to play a game. You will
eat the 1,000.
Or you will stick your hand and have it cut off.
Jeez.
But the other thing I was going to say, we were talking horror movies. What do you think of this? I think they reflect our psychological fears. Might there be a lot of movies about bad things at schools because so many people are afraid about how schools are going this fall? In terms of the COVID and everything.
I think it'd be more, like we talked earlier, more along the zombie virus, plague doctor type thing. I don't think there'll be a lot of movies about schooling. I mean, I know it's a hot button, but I don't think there'll be movies about it.
Well, there is one movie I have to find the courage to watch, but I mean, I don't see what the point of it watching it would be because I know what it's about. It would be the Human Centipede.
Oh, I've seen both that, the sequel. Yeah, you won't want to watch it.
That's like Blair Witch to me. I cannot watch Blair Witch.
No, Blair Witch because it sucks.
New Halloween is coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, Halloween Kills.
Yeah, but Blair Witch is basically. It was greatly hyped. The movie greatly sucked. It's like, okay, she's in the woods. She's really annoying. She's really, really annoying. Why don't they keep walking? Witch, killer.
Yeah, camera face me, camera face away. Camera
but
face
I
me,
thought
camera
maybe
face
Cabin
away.
Fever 3 with college kids who get COVID.
Yeah, well, that might happen. I know one of my friends out at Demon Acres. I think he's doing a Plague Doctor character for this season. I don't like to stick to the stigma of things that are, popular. I do Relic. Well, my brother Relic. Because
you do
Relic,
him? Oh my God!
Hey, we're clowns. What do you expect? Women don't like me. I'm too tall.
But somebody said about Blair Witch that it was the first clickbait.
Then Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that was stupid too.
Well, remember, Blair Witch begot all these crappy movies. That's the problem.
Well, actually, my sister is scared to watch. My sister, she's into horror movies and stuff like that, but she's scared to watch Paranormal Activity, and it's like, what?
That's the cheesiest movie ever made.
They're funny.
But she just saw a clip of it, and she's like, no, I'm not watching this. It looks too scary and messed up or whatever.
That's right. My sister's afraid of E.T.
She is?
Completely terrified.
You're not
of
the
E.T.
first one. There's a lot of friends of mine who are creeped out by that movie.
It's the dying E.T. when he's white. That's what freaks people out.
Really?
Oh.
That never
when
scared me as a
completely
kid.
all white and he's dying in the tent.
Yeah, but Human Centipede's over the top, and I would say it's almost to scare people.
Well,
it's almost like to gross people out.
Well, there is a movie that I think I think you guys should see because it's kind of it's sort of like a David Cronenberg movie with just the human body issues. It's called Society. Have you guys heard of that horror movie?
I don't. I think I might have heard of it. I haven't seen
it. It's kind of gross at the end. I mean, they're like I don't know how to describe it. They're like these like creature like they're making a statement about the rich and poor, but it's kind of I don't know how to describe it. You just have to see it for yourself.
Some of those, like I say, like that. One of the other ones I saw with the gross one is Martyrs. And it's about they torture these girls because they have the idea if you torture somebody enough when they die, they're going to see the afterlife.
That doesn't make sense.
It's beyond disgusting. It doesn't make sense. It's utterly repulsive.
Is that the French movie?
I think it's French, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I got to watch all my serial killer things because that gives me motivation to go out and kill all of you.
I think they'll come up with some new ones now, or just the old classics will just come popping up again.
I haven't seen American Psycho.
I'm tired
Christian Bale.
I'm tired of remakes. They need to quit remaking movies.
Yeah, I agree. They remade The Omen. It should have just stayed the same. And what else did they remake of a horror movie?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. What haven't they remade?
Remakes they don't make sense to me.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they remade that.
The new It, I'm sorry, as a clown, and I get beat up for this all the time. The new It is horrible.
No, you were vindicated by part 2 because everybody said part 2 sucked.
Well, I actually like part 1 and part 2 of the new It.
I've heard part 2. I've not watched it because I've been warned off.
No, it's I like it, but for his own, in my opinion.
Well, see, no, if you like it, you like it.
I like the classics. The original Pennywise was not that creepy, scary clown. It was a clown that attracted children to come to you. The new Pennywise is more... Well, yeah, that's kind of gay in my opinion, but
you get in trouble for saying that.
Dancing clown with razor sharp.
Why?
Teeth.
Then he's happy. He's happy.
He's happy. Yeah, that's it, Rob. 100% not. But I don't like the new one. It's just the original was done the right way.
That Curry was perfect.
Yeah, right. He was, but it was made more for TV, and I know that the remake is more, and the sequel are more closer to the novel, the book.
Yeah, except they did leave out certain things that are in the book you cannot socially talk about nowadays.
Oh, yeah, like with the kids in the sewer, what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, leave it at that.
Yeah,
it's like with The Shining. It's like Kubrick's film. Stephen King hated it. It's not like the book, but most people love it. It's compared to the Steven Weber sci-fi movie, which is a lot closer to the book. Because I read the book, and I'm like, okay, Kubrick did whatever Kubrick wants to do.
Yeah, I like the Kubrick version.
Well, Kubrick was laying out that he faked the moon landing, if you watch that movie right.
Well, I think they did fake the moon landing.
At this point, who cares?
Right about now, I'd rather be on the moon than here.
New Pet Cemetery, they tried to switch stuff up.
Yeah, they screwed that up completely.
But I did meet John Lithgow, and I should have told him that because he was filming the Tomorrowland at Big M at Gates, and I ran into him. And what did I say to him? Like for a moment, Mr. Lithgow, I have to tell you, I love Buckaroo Banzai.
He is.
But he just was. You walking in there, there's all these cars. Did I walk past John Lithgow? I think I did.
Yeah, like I was saying, there was a guy who was in here, and it was uncanny. If they did a bibliography movie about John Candy, he should play him. The guy that we were talking about, Joe.
He prefers to remain anonymous until the movie comes out.
Yeah, we'll just call him John Doe or Joe.
Joe Anonymous, the brother of Don Anonymous.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I survived with you two, so I'm not going to risk my luck for much longer. We're all about the plugs, and of course you're welcome. Sort of welcome back, afraid that if we don't let you back, something.
Yeah, well, Kaos probably won't come back. He's not going to let me come back. But, just a refresh for me, Hamlin Horrid, Halloween.
Now, also, is that online? Does Tom have something
yes,
up?
you can go to the Hamlin Rec Center page. I don't know. I mean, Anki. Oh, I'm going to butcher your name.
Anki, or Tom Gleason.
Or Tom Gleason.
That's a lot easier.
You can go to Kaos the Clown's page.
That's with a K.
With a K. Kaos, the Clown. It's with purple and blue hair. You can't miss me. Clown's actually with a K, too, by the way.
Anybody ever ask you if you work for the bad guys and get smart?
No, not yet. Except I'm sure you probably will now.
They're too young to understand.
Yeah, that's all right. They'll all get over it. So if you go to Hamlin Rec Center, October 31st, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., you'll get your goodie bags, your treats. It's a safe alternative.
In terms of your buddy, I'm also saying, people have been asking me, I don't feel safe about trick-or-treating, who's going to have candy, everything. I've been saying, there's a thing you can do that night.
Yeah, it is. It's considered, Kaos is on the board to help out with this, but we're considering it a safe alternative to trick-or-treating. You're in your car.
And it gives you something to do, too. It gives you something to do. Like, kids think about being a kid, like when you were younger, about being stuck in the house.
You want to go out,
friends.
You want to do something.
But you have that haunt. Your buddy Relic has a page, too, your brother.
Yep.
And also, do you have, a thing up for your haunt?
Relic, the Clown of Nightmares, is my brother, Kaos the Clown, with K for Chaos, a K for Clown. You can go to Demon Acres, at DEMON Acres. It's in Hannibal, New York. They have a Facebook page. My business, Relic Nightmares, has a business.
And now it's
Relic Nightmares New York.
Is that haunt up all October, or is it up to...
It's every Friday and Saturday night.
Next Friday.
Starts actually this coming Friday. Tickets go on sale at 7 p.m. I think ticket window closes at 11 p.m. And
get them online.
You can get them online, or you can buy them there in person.
Isn't it amazing these days, though? It's like
everything online.
I was going to go see Nick Cave in Philly, which got COVIDed. I had no tickets. It was just, here, phone.
Yeah, hold the phone out and they scan it.
Yeah.
But, we're going to be open. You got to get out. Save Halloween. Wear a mask. Don't come out if you're sick. But bring your friends, your family. Yeah, bring your neighbors. Bring your scared little sister. We don't care.
If somebody's sick at home and it's like you didn't have to quarantine, they'll give you a bag if you ask, I'm sure, or something,
Yeah.
Or you can eat it and just say they didn't give it to one either.
Yeah, exactly. But the Hamlin Rec Center thing, once again, stop on out, October 31st, 7 to 9. See all the displays, vote on them. The winner of the best display will receive a golden pumpkin.
And you will see the clown on the throne.
Yeah, Kaos better win that golden pumpkin award. To all the listeners, you better vote for me. I want to win.
He knows where you live.
Yeah, and I know what's under your bed, so get that Britney Spears poster off the wall.
But you're involved with this too, or not this year?
Well, I'm not really involved.
I just forgot during the talk if you were.
I'm not involved, but I'll see if I can get down to the Hamlin Drive-Thru.
Yeah, I may or may not be. I told Tom, my friends, the Grease Creepers, have a show at Photo City that I'm supposed to be involved in. But at this moment, Danny just opened up, but they're just doing the bar, and we were going to have ticketed seating. You can't do that.
Right.
So we're thinking if they do a streaming, otherwise that show might start late enough I can come down anyways because we start kind of late. But the Grease Creepers are going to come out of their graves like they do every October. We got to get them down at the Hamlin Screamfest one year.
Well, I'm sure
with Billy McKee, of course.
I'm sure next year the Screamfest will be back.
Oh well, I will. I would say.
Well, I'm saying this as Kaos Screamfest will be back next year. And there's some big surprises in play. We're going to hook up with some other festivals. We're going to make this huge event.
That's
It's going to
great.
be massive.
And I'll talk to them. Maybe they'll want to. Well, we already have our.
Yep.
Billy's great.
Yeah,
but
Billy
maybe
will
if
come
it's
on.
big enough, we'll have, because these guys are, you love them.
Well, we want to do. We want to connect with the Hilton Apple Fest because it's the same weekend. We want to do a bunch of other things to make this a better event. We're going to do it at night instead of during the day.
And I will tell you, I've been Hilton Apple Fest. You go through that town; it's a wild party.
Oh, yeah.
Wild party.
Yeah.
But Adrian, what's coming up now? The movie, all the stuff.
Oh yeah,
yes.
the movie. Well, still, even though there's a full movie beginning to end rough cut of it, we still need music.
Sound effects.
Yeah, well, I got that's easy to get. But
Yeah, just go down to get some like Taco Bell.
Foley, Foley. That's easy to get. But what we need is music, sound correction with audio levels and stuff, and visual effects, and I think that and end credits, and then I think we should be all set. But that might take a while still. So probably, I would say next year or maybe beginning of next year, the movie will be out with a private screening and touring the festival circuit, and depending on what the country's at with this COVID-19
And I
stuff.
can give you a story. I know independent filmmaking from myself, and it's taken us years to make films. But there's a story, Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Oh,
the director.
yeah.
He came to the East, but he explained.
Yes, I went there.
And remember Harry Knuckles and the Polo Necklace, but he had the actors. And
Yeah.
he said it took how many years? Because they would film on the weekend at a friend's bar. And it took us, I think, 2 years to do one movie because we had the digitals. But people work, and you know how it is with
Yeah.
fundraising. We had to do fundraisers and everything else.
That's
So it
another
takes
thing.
years.
There's the Indiegogo.
Yeah, there's the we have the Indiegogo campaign that's up. Today it's about, I would say, 40 or 39 hours left. Last I checked, it was 40 hours left.
Where can
on
we
the-
find all this stuff?
Well, Clowns in the Woods, if you want to support the film, it's on, it's called Clowns in the Woods Finishing Funds, and it's on Indiegogo. If you can look up Indiegogo on google.com. And you could check out, my website, espocinema.com. And I would say there's also a sneak peek trailer out there for the film, and also a clip that I have on YouTube.
Thanks.
And you could also go to Kaos, the Clowns page, too. I've got advertisements for Indiegogo for the finishing funds for the film. So you can also go to my page and click on the link. It'll take you right there to it as well.
Well,
Yeah.
it's always I'll say. I also add thanks for not murdering me this time as usual. Every time you come in, I always.
Next
No,
time,
actually, really, Zach hasn't been on these shows. Maybe because he talked to you.
Yeah, I think Zach's afraid of me. I think that's why he's not here.
But we've
It has
also
nothing
just
to do
used
with COVID.
COVID as a cover, so you can run away. But I'm going to play something I think was fitting. My friend Greg Prevost, he's Stackhouse Prevost now. He does a song called "Never Trust the Devil." When you two hear Halloween, I think that's perfect. And check out Greg Prevost. You know him from the Chesterfield Kings, local. I call him a local legend. He's very humble, but he never come on the show because he stays at home and watches movies all the time. Nice. Good for him. Great guy. I love him. And maybe you'll see him biking around the cemetery sometime. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Kaos. And say hi to Relic.
You're welcome.
You're more than welcome.
And don't let him come into, if you don't say your prayers at night and go to
Relic,
sleep.
Relic will be back on the podcast sometime because he has to kill Zach.
Yes. Oh, you say he's still alive. Well, on that, we're going to go to the music and you can make your getaway. Bye-bye.
Devil, I have control your mind. Your mind. I'll never trust this devil. He'll destroy your